Hi, everybody. It's MattHawes of the Happy Show, and I'm here today with another video. And I decided today I'm going to go ahead and write a song on the fly, basically. It won't be necessarily the greatest song or whatever. Probably going to be a little novelty number because that's easier to come up with in a short period. Not that, there can't be time taken and for great novelty songs, of course. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and do this as example of how I try to operate on Suno. You can use it, I guess, as a sort of tutorial, bleh, if you will. But that's not necessarily what I'm setting out to do here. I just want to kind of give more of an example through me showing my process sometimes when it comes to writing some songs. I also noticed that Suno, as of this, I don't know when they start this feature upgrade, but within the last week or so, it seems that they're now allowing people to upload up to 8 minutes of audio. So if you create your own song, or have any kind of music that you have ownership of, that you can upload up to 8 minutes worth. And in the past, what I've done is I've created cover versions and such, and it can take even you humming or whatever and expand from that. So 8 minutes is really cool because it used to limit you to 2 minutes, which you could do some smaller songs in that time frame. But usually, I have a lot of songs that extend beyond 2 minutes, and I have old songs that friends of mine have done using my lyrics and such. But I like to hear them and reinterpret it, and in some cases in styles that I might have wanted to go with more on my own. When you're collaborating with somebody, of course, especially when they're being generous enough with their time to help create music for my words for free, I don't always quibble about the style if it's even if it's not exactly what I would have wanted. Usually they did a beautiful job, but just and that's one thing that's benefits me with Suno and these AI programs. I know a lot of people have concern about AI and such, and there's understandable reasons for it. Won't go into detail here. I've discussed it in previous videos, but I do see it as a tool. And since I can't create my own music. I can write my own lyrics and such. To me, this fulfills something I've wanted for a long time to be able to create my own fully realized songs without having to rely on other people for it. It's nice if you can, but again, not everybody has the time to do that for you, and I don't have the money to pay a whole bunch of people to do it every time a win hits me. So much cheaper just to pay a subscription on Suno here, but you don't have as much control. But again, you don't even really have you have in some ways you have more control with Suno because again, I don't want to offend somebody who's doing work for me if it's when it's for free. We're not talking about a job where I'm paying them or hiring them. Anyway, I don't want to get off on too far into the different kind of subject matter than what I'm really setting out here. Here, I'm just really wanting to demonstrate a song, and I was just mentioning about that uploading of audio, which if I got time, if I don't take too long doing this on this video, I may show you what the upload is, how that will work. But right now, I just want to stick with just having it generate the music on its own, but I'm doing the lyrics and how I can influence that. Now, over here, my workspace, that's songs that I've created recently. So, When Things Went Too Far is a song I created not too long ago. I was kind of happy with that, especially when I worked with it and experimented with that a bit. Uh, if you're new to Suno, they keep changing the interface a little bit. Like this part here with weirdness and style influence, that's a little different than what I'd seen before. In fact, it says new on advanced options. But I get even looking at it for the first time here, because this was not here the last time I used it about a week or so ago. But I understand pretty much what it's saying here. The weirdness, that's kind of neat. Turn it up for a wild, unexpected results. And I personally experiment a lot. Like over here, it says experimental. Um, I'm trying to think if I should name the song first or just go with lyrics. But there's ways you can play around with these lyrics, where you can control to some degree how things are sang or whatever sung by the AI. Um, Sometimes there's things like certain prompts you can use that they don't always respect, but you can always try. Now, a lot of times in brackets, people put things like intro. Excuse me, I'm going to mistype a few times here. And I don't always do a lot of this because sometimes it just ignores it anyway. And it can usually Suno can usually detect the structure of some of the songs. Again, there's ways to control it, even if you don't put things in brackets. Uh, Let me see here. So I'm going to try and come up with some random lines off the top of my head. There was a day I uh, was coming down the street. Okay. There was a day I was coming down the street. Now you're going to hear me because I'm going to try and doing this on the cuff. It's going to take a little bit of time. I don't want this video to be too long, but we'll see. What I can do here. I'm not going to make a tremendously long song, but there was a day I was coming down the street, looking all around for somebody to meet. Uh, Again, you're going to see me with my typing skills here. There was a day I was coming down the street, looking around for somebody to meet. Around the corner, just just around the bend was a silly looking critter searching for a friend. Whoops. Now, so there's a verse there, and if I wanted to, and I'll go ahead and just do it for here, you can put in brackets verse or verse one or whatever. I don't know that matters that you put any numeral thing. That delete button's a little close there. I don't remember it being that close before. That can, I don't want to accidentally delete my stuff by being that dang close. But anyway, there was there was a day I was coming down the street. Let's just go ahead and change this for the hell of it. I don't know why, but I just feel rolling down the street. It sounds different or funnier enough. I don't know. There was a day I was rolling down the street, looking all around for somebody to meet. Around the corner, just around the bend, was a silly looking critter searching for a friend. And I thought, and then here's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna kind of make a weird little break. Now I'm loosely familiar with bridges, breaks, and all that, but I would assume this could be what I'm getting ready to hear, maybe considered a break. I kind of intuitively know some of this stuff when I'm writing it, even if I'm not always sure if I was to explain it here, if I'm using phrasing properly. But I thought I'm gonna purposely misspell something here. What a weird dude. Now I gotta think, where am I going with this? Looking awful crude. Don't whoops, wanna be rude. I thought, what a weird dude looking awful crude. Don't want to be rude. Okay, so careful what I spew. Now, it's a near rhyme, and that's what, you know, a lot of songs do. Um, and then, okay, so that could either be a break or that could be a chorus even, but I'm just making that break. Again, you don't even necessarily need to specify. It's kind of funny how the AI will a lot of times understand that even without me having to break in there. Now, when you do parentheses, you can have it do like sometimes it will do it like a chorus, sometimes it will do it like a repeat vocal or something, repeating another line or whispers or something. It's just funny to see what we'll do. So just for the hell of it, go spew, spew, spew. Do I want to just spew, 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 or spew, 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 spew? Spew, spew, spew sounds best, I guess. Now, I sometimes done this with my other songs where I'll just do some kind of weird gibberish, kind of nonsensical text. Sometimes to emulate a either, I mean, it's usually done in vocals, but it can still be done as like a part of the song that's not necessarily the lyrics, but not the chorus either. So I'm gonna put Wampa Dampa. It probably will say Dampa. Wampa Dampa. Let me do this. Dampa, maybe it will. Because sometimes you have to phonetically do things a certain way, or especially if there's more than one way somebody might pronounce something, you gotta treat it like it doesn't understand everything. Wampa Dampa Doodle Doo. Picka Chicka Poodle Who. Oh, that's a Paddle Who. And it will say Paddle if I don't do this right. My street pal I haven't seen for a while. Where did he go? Is he has he gone the extra mile? And then Wampa Dumpa do. I could just make this easy right now. In fact, I think I will. I'll just go ahead and copy and repeat that. Again, this is just a nonsensical thing. So I just want to use this example, and I'm probably going to stop here. Where the heck is the paste? Oh, there we go. I'm overlooking. I'm concentrating on too many things at once. And then I'm going to put in capital letters. Sometimes you put capital letters, it will you use it for emphasis just like you would if you were typing something. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to go too far. It's already over 12 minutes into this video. Um, Enter style. I'm gonna put experimental. That's actually one of my favorite things to do because it will give you a wide range of things. And experimental, it might make you think it's going to be all weird and abstract and everything else. Not necessarily. It really does seem to go by your lyrics and structure and stuff. Now, in this case, my lyrics are pretty goofy and everything. So it will probably be weird. And I'm going to actually amp it a little bit to be weird. I don't want to be ridiculous, but style influence. So, and to turn it to match your style description, well, my style description, sorry, experimental. I might actually go a little bit low so it don't get too weird. But I extend the weirdness here, and yeah, I'm lowering it to style influence. But I don't want to be too experimental. I should say it can be weird, but I I will just see anyway. And then I'll just call it my street friend. And so you name the title. I think they put the title on the bottom now so people can come up with title after they write the songs. I never have the auto thing write my lyrics because this is all about me trying to realize my own lyrics into songs. And I don't understand. This is one part about AI sites is the people that, and God bless them, they can do whatever they want if it's fun for them. But to me, if you don't have any input, if you didn't do the music or the lyrics or anything like that, then what's the point? I don't want AI just to create me just kind of iffy music. Now it's different, of course, sometimes because I do sometimes want instrumental pieces, but even then, I still try to do whatever I can to influence it. Um, I think I got everything here. I'm just checking right now because again, they've changed this a little bit. Up here, personas, you can have a certain singer do it. In fact, let me check. I'm gonna put Scissor Singer because I'm curious how that would come out. Scissor Singer, I called it that because I thought it sounded like the lead singer from Scissor Sisters whenever I used it on one of my songs. And you don't have to have a persona. You can create personas, and use them, or you can just let it come up with whatever it's going to come up with. But this is basing off of a previous style. I don't know if that would play. Oh yeah. So it plays the song that you saved with that style. So this is one called "Just No Good" that I wrote.
Feeling lonely, uninspired, listless, lethargic, run down and tired. I've gotta keep going, but what can I do? Is there a point when our romance is through? I know I should try hard as I could, but it's understood I'm just no good.
Okay, sorry if I let that go on too long, but I want you to hear that. That is my other song. The one I took a little bit more time on. It wasn't a novelty song either, and but I thought it sounded like a Scissor Sisters kind of vocal, not necessarily their kind of song. And so I kind of want to save that because I want to have a variety of vocals. So anyway, I want to play that because that's what that kind of vocals is what I'm using here. Now I don't think that will hopefully make it the same kind of melody or whatever. I mean, it won't copy that melody. I know it won't do that, but I'm hoping it will still come up with something unique. And so we'll see here. I'm going to go ahead and hit create. And when you hit create, okay, now I don't know how fast it's getting, but it's been pretty quick here. So here in a few minutes, it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, too long of a wait, and we'll listen to that. And after I see how that sounds, I'm going to go ahead and probably do a little upload. I don't want this video to go too much longer, but hopefully within 10 minutes I can show you what it will do with the upload. Now, I usually wait. It's showing these little red dots, which it may be ready to listen to, it looks like, but because you can see like when you hover, a little arrow pops up. But I usually like to wait until it actually tells the minutes, so I know that it's fully rendered or what have you. Um, so since we're waiting, again, it shouldn't take too long. And I'm not editing this video like I haven't edited a lot of videos when I do it like these vlogs. Oh, here we go. Uh, so I was gonna do that in real time is what I was getting at. I was just gonna discuss more about my other stuff, but now or what I was going to upload here, but now I don't have to worry about that yet. We'll play this. See, it gives you two versions. For those who don't use Suno or similar sites, they usually give you at least two versions. This, I think, all sites I deal with give you two versions to go by, and you can continue to create based off the same lyrics and everything, or you can change up styles. You don't have to settle with that. Okay.
There was day I was rolling down the street.
I'm going to pause this for a minute. Nobody told me I forgot to put a day. This is why I need instant feedback. Now, it was supposed to say there was a day, but so he was saying it properly. I'm the one I'm going to start back again, but I just know this. Sometimes when I get caught up in the lyrics, especially now when I'm doing a video while I'm doing it, I overlooked the fact that it's supposed to be a day. Anyway, let's go ahead and listen again.
There was day I was rolling down the street, looking all around for somebody to meet. Around the corner, just around the bend, was a silly looking critter searching for a friend. And I thought, what a weird dude, looking awful crude. Don't wanna be rude, so careful what I spew.
Now, see, that wasn't too bad. I could expand on this if I wanted to flesh it out and such, and you can edit it and everything. I could edit now. I think it's getting cleaner where I could edit and add that a day that was supposed to be here instead of was day. Um, when I say cleaner, because in the past it sometimes changes some of the feel of the song when you do that, especially for the line that you correct. And I want, I want to be a little cleaner than that. Udio, which is another service, another website, it does a better job nowadays. Again, I haven't tested this Suno that's this upgrade recently, but Udio has been a little bit better where it doesn't really change the way the lyric sounds because there's nothing that drives me crazy. When I like the whole feel of a song, I just screwed up and then add the word a, and then I edit it, and then that whole feel, if I like the way it came out, and yet I put the a, or have to edit to put the a in there, all of a sudden it sounds all different, and I hate that. So, uh, but they're getting better, like I said about that. Let's listen to the second version.
There was day I was rolling down the street, looking all around for somebody to meet. Around the corner, just around the bend, was a silly looking critter searching for a friend. And I thought, what a weird dude, looking awful crude. Don't wanna be rude, so careful what I spew. Spew, spew. Ooh, pick a chip, but my street pal I haven't seen for a while. Where did he go? Has he gone the extra mile? Pick a chip, yeah.
See, that wasn't too bad. I actually kind of like that version. It's going into my other song. Okay, so I'm gonna leave those be for right now. I may expand on them later. I don't know. Again, this is kind of just done off the cuff for fun. But let's see here. I'm gonna clear all that stuff there. I'm going to see. I think yeah, upload. I'm gonna see what I might upload here. Music. Um, Trying to think what I want to do here. I'm trying to find some of my buddies' songs or one of my songs. Let's see here. Music, music, music. Matt's lyrics, Matt's recordings. I'm trying to remember I have this all. So Matt's songs and audio files. Now I've done. I can't stop my feet from tapping. Basically, I've done a whole bunch of these, but I haven't been able to do like you weren't able to upload the full songs in the past, and so I've done cover versions that didn't always come out. Let's try Mingle Society. That's one I did this version of before. Did that not do that right? Oh wait. Okay, here we go. Okay, now what you're hearing right now is my friend Al Williams, Al Chantry, Al Williams. From he went by both names for the Happy Show, um, and this is his version of a song called Mingle Society. Is that song actually a 8 minute song? Here I got a limit of 8 minutes. I think this is actually a freaking 8 minute long song. Anyway, uh, it might even went a little over. That's funny. The first time I do this, I'm actually over the limit on 8 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it trim it. Of all the things, anyway. So I mean, I'm laughing because how many 8 minute songs is there in general usually, unless it's a prog rock band? But that was one of the longer takes that Alan had done. Anyway, so see right down here, you can save to the library for use for later. which it saves automatically regardless. You can do a cover in any style. That's what I'm going to try here in a moment. Or extend, you can make it longer. And I think I haven't tried this extend too much with the vocals, but sometimes, at least not with original audio. Sometimes the AI can actually emulate the vocals. But I'm going to do a cover version, which actually will create its own vocals based off of Alan's. Now, you didn't hear Alan singing in that uh, start at the start of that one song because that's a pretty long intro. Again, I forgot how long he made that freaking song. It was just a goofy thing I wrote. And one night, Alan was go ahead and recording, doing a whole recording session. Basically, it was impromptu kind of marathon where he took a bunch of lyrics I'd wrote, and he was just in the mood to do so. And while I was with him on Skype, if I recall, it was over Skype, he was going ahead and knocking out a bunch of these songs. And so it was really nice to do that. Nice of him to do that. And it was cool to have some of my songs finally realized. I mean, he had done it in the past and he's created his own music for the show, for my happy show. Here we go. Then you hit continue. Now I think in a second. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh my God, that was over 8 minutes. It really was. Oh, I just laughing I just have to laugh at that because I mean, seriously, of all the songs I chose, that's probably the only 8 minute long song I have, and that was not intentional. I forgot it was that long. I can jump ahead. Here we go. Okay, I'm skipping past or skipping up a little bit, but I wanted to get to where he starts singing. Boy, he had a long intro. The intro was as long as the song on its own. Okay, so he started sooner than that. Let's see. Okay, here we Okay, so here we go. I think he started around the 2 minute mark where he started the vocals.
Feeling so pretty, life's a dream. Living little lady knows what I mean. She's a mango girl. She's a mango girl.
Now I'm looking over to the side here. It's not. I don't think my screen capture here it's visible, but it's got the lyrics. It translates the lyrics, and you can straighten that up. I'm not going to take the time to do so right now, but you can usually straighten that up. It says the end track in this indie pop song is approximately at 140 BPM, primarily in the key to A major. I've never seen that before. I'm looking up here at where it's telling me about the song that I uploaded and it's called indie pop. Well, that's actually true because it is independent pop. But anyway, but and it usually does a good job at deciphering the lyrics. But if it didn't do the lyrics properly, I would just extend it right here. I'm gonna or add my own is what I mean to say. I would add my own lyrics over here and make sure it understands what the lyrics are because it's pretty good at understanding that once you do that. We're gonna create a cover version here. Let's see. Create. Okay. No, that's remaster. Remix. Okay, now, I thought they used to have the cover under create. Now they must have moved on to remix edit. Okay, anyway, we're going to do a cover version here. And I wonder if can I do a persona on a cover version? I don't think you used to be able to, but I think they allow you to now. That's interesting. And see, the lyrics have been transported over here. I'm going with well, maybe I shouldn't go with the just since for the example here, I should go with a different singer, I think. Let me try Bluesy Lady. Okay. Uh, Now, even though I chose that Bluesy Lady, it automatically puts in a style that I had her singing before. But I want to see what it will do with Cyber Metal. Let me get rid of that part. And so it used her vocal, but we'll do it in Cyber Metal. That should be interesting. I have no idea what it's going to be like. I will notch down the influence or of the weirdness and all. Audio influence. Turn up the resemble the resemble. Bleh. Turn it up to resemble your original audio or persona. Okay. So I'm gonna turn it up to match more of that vocal too. I'm gonna put them all about the middle. It does under remix, though. Was it says cover. Okay. Again, some of this stuff has changed since I last used this. So normally it didn't have remix down there, but now it's calling it remix even though it's on their cover. Let's see what it does. This video is now over a half hour long. I don't want it to go much longer, so this will be the last thing I want to show you for now. But yeah, so again, this being a 8 minute long song, I don't know how long it will take to actually uh, fully render it. But yeah, this is interesting. Like I said, because there's some changes to the site since last time, and you can just I wonder what that's to do with speed there. See, there's new features already. Now, I will mention I pay for this. I do the pro version, and one advantage to pro version is you fully own your own music on there. I would argue even on the free version you own your lyrics no matter what. If you do your lyrics, copyright applies to um, artwork or writing or what have you, like lyrics. The moment you put them in a reproducible form, like say you write out the stuff or draw it or whatever, it's copyright. You pay to register copyright. Now, this video is not about copyright law, but I just bring this up to say that so if you brought your own lyrics to Suno, it does not own your lyrics. I don't think you're giving up your lyrics just because you're using it to create a song through them on the free platform. That's an interesting thing that somebody asked me about, and I wonder about how we would detail. Like, look, it's an 8 minute song and narrowed it down to 3 minutes. We'll see what how that worked out. But anyway, just I want to finish this thought here. So basically, if you do the pro version, though, it says you get the rights to commercial rights and all that. Which also is interesting because not to get too much into this because this isn't what the video is really about. But AI stuff that's prompted through AI solely, like you just told to create a love song, you don't have any real input other than you just say create me a love song, that can't be copyrighted by anybody. So I think it's funny that Suno can't technically copyright the music it creates because, AI prompted stuff cannot be copyrighted. But if there's human influence, like through the words or whatever, you can copyright that work if you had some influence over it in that manner. So, in there, I don't think they can lay claim to your lyrics just because you use the free version. But if you use the pay version, if you pay for a subscription, that's a moot point anyway. But I'm just bringing up. Anyway, again, that's not really what this video is about. Let's hear what Mando's Mingo Mingo. I can't even say my own song's name. Mango Society sounds like here. And this is done. What was that style? Cyber metal.
Feeling so pretty, life's a dream. Living little lady knows what I mean. She's a mango girl. She's a mango girl. Feeling so strong, life so free. Must admit, loving knows what I mean. Mango man.
Now, I will say right off the bat, Bluesy Lady is a woman voice, so I don't think it did what the woman voice there. That don't sound like her voice, but we'll see. But they give a kind of metal thing there, which let's see what this does. I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna go ahead and hit remix while we're doing this and create two more versions here. Uh, you get two versions for each time you do a song. Again, I don't want to keep you guys too long with this video, but I just wanted to hear if it gets closer to the Allen's version. But Okay, so it's like that one word was supposed to be lady. That's the one of the drawbacks of not doing, not rewriting the lyrics so it understands. Yeah, it says she's a mango later. She's a mango later. It's probably because of Alan's English accent. No, I, for whatever reason, whenever it was interpreting his yeah social super selling knows what. So I think it was social super Sally. I think is my original lyrics. Um, but again, it doesn't get all clear because I didn't rewrite the lyrics. If I had wrote the lyrics, it would have got the word right because you can control that part. Um, I hear little bits of it that I did take from Alan's composition, basically of the music. Um, it's got the lyrics pretty much down for the most part. And yes, this was one of my silly songs too at the time. Let's see what these sound like real quick.
Feeling so pretty, life's a dream. Living little lady knows what I mean. She's a mango girl. She's a mango girl. Feelings are strong, life's so free. Muscle man loving knows what I mean. He's a mango man. He's a mango man. Sitting at a party and life's a spree. Social super selling knows what I mean. She's a mango later. She's a mango later.
Lady.
Living with mother, life's a scream. Timid and timid knows what I mean. He's a mango kid. He's a mango kid. Living all together.
So I actually kind of like some of these versions for the most part. It, they don't sound quite right or quite adhering quite to the melody that Alan did a little bit. But of course, it's hard to because I purposely did cyber metal, which was pretty much a world or two away from what he was doing. Because I want to see how it would do, and then on top of that, I add bluesy lady. I had like what was a blues vocal, and I couple of these. I guess it could be a male or female vocal. So it's anyway. Let's see what this sounds like.
Feeling so pretty, life's a dream. Living little lady knows what I mean. She's a mango girl. She's a mango girl. Feelings are strong, left so free. Muscle man, loving knows what I mean. He's a mango man. He's a mango man.
Okay, so that was definitely a female vocal there. That was the other one. Like I said, there's about two or so there that thought was could go either way. Um, and then the one I thought sound more of like a male vocal. The first one I think we listened to. Now I will say I have done even before this new update where you can do longer songs. The previous songs I have done versions that I covered of the audio uploaded, and it stuck pretty close to the melody and everything. So I think what this is I just did such a drastic change of style. But I do like some of the takes that it's done, and I would probably expand on it and such. There's ways that you can fine tune these songs and such, and I even have taken songs and begin them on one platform like Suno and take them over to Udio and vice versa, just to see how it would extend or change the song in some ways, and and come up with something totally different than either one would do on its own. Anyway, that's pretty much the video here. I've went way over than what I thought I was going to, but I hope that you have stuck with it. Just if you were interested in checking this sort of thing out, and I might make shorter videos of me playing around on these apps like this and websites, apps. Anyway, so thanks for checking it out, and if you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel and like it and all that. I put up all sorts of kinds of videos, and some are actually edited. Just this time not. So anyway, I hope you enjoy, and so I'll talk to you or whatever next time. Yay!